Assalamualaikum students, welcome to the third part of our unit, The Blind Boy. And here we are going to start with the vocabulary on page number 13. As you can see, there is a definition written over here. An idiom is a fixed combination of words that has a particular meaning which usually cannot be guessed from the meanings of the individual words themselves. For example, it rained cats and dogs last night. By the words cats and dogs, we are not going to conclude that the rain is having cats and dogs being coming down from the sky. It means that the rain that is being rained over there is quite heavy. So cats and dogs means it is referring to the heaviness of the rain. So it means is actually a group of words established by a usage as having meaning not deducible from those of the individual words. Idioms जिस तरह हम उर्दू में बात करते हैं कि मुहावरों को हम इंग्लिश में जो है हम इडियम्स का नाम देते हैं. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हम उर्दू में कहते हैं कि आसमान से टपका और खजूर में अटका. इट डजंट मीन समथिंग इज़ फॉलिंग फ्रॉम द स्काई एंड इट इज़ गोइंग टू गेट स्टक इन द पाम ट्री. It refers something you are not doing something very good that you have started. So idioms also help us in expressing simple feelings more illustrated and in a more colorful way. For example, in a pickle, by the word pickle we are not going to understand कि something जो कि अचार किस्म की कोई चीज़ हम नहीं उसको करेंगे, but it means to be in a troublesome situation. So here we have got two columns over here on page number 13. In the first column they have given the idioms, and in the second column the meanings are provided over there, but the meanings are not actually in a proper sequence. They are random. By reading the idioms we have to find out the meanings which are going to be written in the copy in front of these idioms respectively. Now I'm going to read for you the idioms from the idiom column, and then obviously I am also going to read you the meanings from the meaning column. But when we are going to do in our copy, we are going to make two columns. One is going to be the column in which we are going to write down the idiom, and in the second column we are going to highlight it with the meaning heading over there, and we are going to write down the correct meaning of the idiom in front of it. So let's start. I'm going to read you the idioms. Barking up the wrong tree, as right as rain, under the weather, burn the midnight oil, by the skin of your teeth, bite off more than you can chew, tongue in cheek. These are all the idioms, and they have got their meanings randomly placed over here in the second column. We have to find out their meanings. Take on more than you can manage, focusing on the wrong place when trying to find out something, joking, not to be taken seriously, feeling well and happy, feeling ill, work late into the night, a narrow escape. Now these are all the meanings which are randomly given. Now we are going to let you know what is going to be the meaning for the first idiom of ours in our first column. Now take a pencil in your hand and mark the numbers in front of the meanings for your idiom. Barking up the wrong tree. It means focusing on the wrong place when trying to find out something. As right as rain means feeling well and happy. Under the weather meaning feeling ill. Burn the midnight oil meaning work late into the night. By the skin of your teeth meaning a narrow scape. Bite off more than you can chew meaning take on more than you can manage. And the last is tongue in cheek, joking, not to be taken seriously. This completes your bookmarking. Now let us proceed how to manage the work in the copy. Going to the new page, we are going to place the vocabulary heading. As previously you have been told that you are going to use a black cut marker for writing the headings. So vocabulary is obviously going to be written with a black marker. After we have placed the heading, centrally we are going to put the heading. Okay, and after the placing of the heading, we are going to come to our side heading, which is going to be written with a blue cut marker. Then you are going to make your definition written over here in a centralized form. How we are going to make it centralized? We are going to take a pencil and a scale and have equal distance pencil, using a pencil and a scale. Idiom's definition is going to be written centrally, and we are going to take the definition from page number 13 over here from the book. An idiom is a fixed combination of words that has a particular meaning, which usually cannot be guessed from the meanings of the individual words themselves. After till themselves, you are going to make it centralized, and then using a different color pointer, you place the pointer heading, for example, and after the pointer heading, we are going to write down the written idiom over here in our copy, and we are going to highlight it with a different color pointer. Now switching for the exercise that we have marked in the book, you are coming to the new page, putting the heading exercise number 1, making 2 columns. First column is going to be having the heading idiom, and the second column will be having the heading meanings. We are going to write down the idioms with a black pointer, drawing the center margin. For constructing the columns, we are going to use either a pencil or a blue color. And as we have marked the meanings in our book, we are going to use pen and write down the meanings in front of each of the idiom. In this way, your exercise is going to be completed. Now, this completes your exercise number 1 for idioms. Now, we are proceeding to exercise number 2. For exercise number 2, come on page number 14. Exercise C. Find a single word to replace the underlined idiom in each of the following sentence. Number 1. Fred won't get any of the money until his dad kicks the bucket. Now you are going to take either a different color pointer for writing the idiomatic expression, or you can just take a black pointer to underline the idiomatic expression. And we are going to write down all these 5 sentences, but before that you are going to fill the answer just below the first sentence. Exercise number 2. Writing the question, find a single word to replace the underlined idiom in each of the following statements. Number 1. Fred won't get any of the money until his dad kicks the bucket. As you can see, the idiomatic expression has been written with a black pointer. You can also do this, or you may write down with a fountain pen and you can just underline it with a black pointer, whatever suits you. And when we are going to write down the answer, we are definitely going to use a different color pointer. Now he is saying use a single word to explain the idiomatic expression. So here we are going to write down the words in the form of answers. Kicks the bucket means dies. D-I-E-S. Dies. And now writing the second statement. I think that you should keep an eye on the man in the grey jacket. He's been behaving rather suspiciously. Now keep an eye. We have to write down a single word explaining keep an eye. For that we can either write down, I have got 2 options over here for you. One is the watch, W-A-T-C-H. The other is observe. So you write down both the words by placing a over here. Idiom keep an eye means watch / observe, यानी कि keep an eye को हम 2 लफ्ज़ों से इसको हम एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं. या तो हम watch लिख लें, W-A-T-C-H, या फिर हम observe, O-B-S-E-R-V-E, observe. Now writing the third sentence, Paul says that he is feeling under the weather and won't be able to come this evening. Now under the weather is now going to be explained either by writing unwell, or you can write down ill. Unwell, U-N-W-E-L-L, or ill. Writing the fourth statement, job opportunities are rather thin on the ground at present. Thin on the ground is going to be explained here by giving the single word few. The last of the exercise, that man's being a real pain in the neck. He just won't stop asking questions. Pain in the neck. We can write down the word bother to explain the word pain in the neck. And with this we complete our second exercise for explaining the idioms. 18 and having over here written writing. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write down some character sketches over here about the characters that we have read about or learned about in our first unit, The Blind Boy. Write a character study of Jack, and we are also going to write down a character sketch of Jack's father. So it means two exercises will be done over here. First exercise is going to be based on the character sketch of Jack, and the second is going to be his father. So how we are going to write down? Now let me show you how we start our work in the copy. By taking a black marker, we are going to put the center heading of writing, and then from the book, page number 18, we are going to make a question. Write a character study of Jack's father. After putting the question, we are coming on the heading of the character sketch. Taking a black cut marker, we are going to put the heading character sketch of Jack's father. Jack's father was a poor man, full stop. He was always cruel to Jack even when his mother was alive, and got crueler still after the mother's death, full stop. The reason for this could be that he probably hoped that his harsh punishment would make the boy a better worker, full stop. However, his cruelty had the opposite effect, full stop. At the end of the story, Jack's father character seemed to go under a change, full stop. He apologized his son and asked forgiveness, full stop. Jack believed him and tried to save his life. Now students, let us write down the character sketch of Jack. Obviously we have completed the first character, and we are now going to switch to the next side of our page with the question as written. Write the character study of Jack. After writing the question, you are going to place the heading character sketch of Jack. Now I am going to read the character sketch of Jack. Jack was the only child of a peasant couple, he was blind from his birth, full stop. His mother loved him, but the father treated him cruelly and often caned him for his clumsy acts, full stop. He was a kind and gentle boy by his nature, who was always sympathetic towards the people who were in need, even he did not hesitate to sacrifice his belongings that were of great worth to him, such as his mother's shawl, full stop. Jack was very soft-hearted boy, full stop. And with this, we complete our written work in the Unit 1. I hope you are going to do, or you have done the work of the first part in a very neat and tidy manner. Thank you.